Hi, I'm Gabrielle Schrager. I'm the store design director on Zombi U from Ubisoft Montpellier Studios, and we're here at the Nintendo of America launch event for the new Wii U, and we're going to talk about Ubisoft's new FPS survival horror that was built exclusively for the Wii U from the ground up.
So talk a little about the Wii U and what that's opened up from a gameplay perspective for you guys.
So what we discovered when we first got our hands on the hardware, we started out thinking we were going to make kind of an arcade shooter, we wanted to make a fun run and gun game, and as soon as we got the hardware into our hands and started to probe the different features, we realized what a perfect fit it is for survival horror. Because of the first time in video game history, we've got the two screens. And so we realized that we can use those in a survival horror to distract the player and constantly have him have to divide his attention between the TV screen and what's going on in the gamepad, which we use as your survival kit. So basically the gamepad becomes the all-in-one survival kit in which you've got everything you need to survive a zombie apocalypse. And the game works very much like a zombie simulator. It's incredibly intense, and because everything happens in real time, you don't want to be rummaging through your bag, you know, with your head up your bag, literally, because the zombies can attack you at any time. So it keeps a lot of tension going. And as soon as we realized that with the lockpick method, you can use the gamepad to hack doors, pick locks, use it as an environmental scanner. When we saw how stressed out everyone got and their heartbeats went up while they were trying to pick locks as the zombies approached them, then we realized that we'd hit on something. And the confirmation from that came when we first saw people jumping out of their seats at E3. And then from there, it really built incredibly organically.
So talk about the story and the environments people will be exploring.
The game takes place at the end of 2012. It's the time of the apocalypse in the Mayan calendar, and England is no different. They have their own Nostradamus. His name is John Dee. He predicted the first Great Plague in 1665, and he has foreseen the second Great Plague of London, which is taking place in November of 2012. So when the game starts, we find ourselves as a noob survivor, just like you and me, with absolutely no experience. And the idea is how long, not if you're going to survive, but just how long you're going to survive. That's the inherent challenge. And you play as a basic survivor who doesn't know what the heck he's doing out there. And when you die, one bite will kill you. If you get grabbed by a zombie, you will not stand up again, except as a zombie. And then you have to start the game as a brand new survivor with as little experience as the first one, and go out and mercy kill your former survivor in order to get all of your gear back and to continue the progression through the game. Now what's incredibly important is that we use persistence in the game to keep the flow of the story so that there's no game over. You never feel like you have to go back and do anything again. You know, in all horror games, it's about timing and surprise. So the scripted events don't play twice, and any progress that your survivors made through the game, you benefit from. So almost like a relay race to get just one of these guys out of Dodge.
Some of the Hollywood inspirations. Zombies are really hot right now. Where did you guys look for inspiration?
Major zeitgeist. I mean, obviously, when I was researching the game, I watched all the movies, even all the way back to the first I Am Legend with Vincent Price. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but everything was good for the taking. We started off with our childhood memories of Romero, obviously, and we wanted, because of the gamepad, you don't want to have Danny Boyle like 28 Day Later Zombies come crashing down at you, where you're trying to handle the new screen for the first time. But as we move through the game, the zombies also evolve, so they get more intense, more scary, more aggressive, and although they start the game by being more slow, they eventually end up climbing up ladders and breaching walls. So as you become more skilled in Survivor, the zombies get tougher to beat as well.
Why do you think zombies are having such a resurgence these days on TV and movies, kind of everywhere, gaming?
Well, it's funny, when we first started the game, we realized that once we'd chosen permadeath as one of the key narrative features, that obviously a survivor that might last all of anywhere between 10 seconds to 5 hours cannot carry a plot line. So we had to make a companion character. So I became obsessed by these guys called the Preppers. And if you look online and you just type Prepper, you'll see survivalist hardcore people who are ready for the end of the world now. And in fact, you'll ask them any advice now, they'll tell you everything you need to prepare. They've got guidelines. There's even a survivalist mom blog online. It made me feel guilty about not even having a Band-Aid in my car. And they'll help you until the shit hits the fan. And once that happens, they're not going to open their door for you. So you're just going to have to deal with it. So one of our characters, each of the different characters, the main characters in the game, represents a different way of surviving. One wants you to hunker down in the bunker, protect your safe house, stock it up, make sure you have options, take your time, make it slow and steady. Another survivalist group wants you to get out of Dodge. They'll try to evacuate you in the game. Whether or not you make it depends. And a third main character is hidden in the bunker of the Buckingham Palace. He's a royal household doctor who's trying to search for a fabled panacea, which is apparently a cure eventually to this zombie apocalypse.
So this is going to be a very different take on London than we just saw at the Olympics.
Yeah, absolutely. We didn't want to go there. In fact, God forbid something had actually happened, so we sort of walked around that really carefully. The extortionist games, as they call them. But you were talking about the zeitgeist of zombies today, and I think because between all of the different manifestations, what's the sit-in group? I've lost their name. Anonymous. What's the name of the group who've been sitting in all over Wall Street and in London recently? It's escaped me. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So London is also a perfect setting for that because it's the biggest, bloody capitalist, cosmopolitan banking city in the world. And you've got that with these incredible contrasts of medieval towers and then this incredibly strange royal aspect of it. And where else could we replace your handy baseball bat with a cricket bat for once and beat down beefeaters and royal guards? So it made for a completely unique take on the zombie. And I wrote with Anthony Johnston, who is a British comics author, to make sure that it was extremely authentic because I didn't want to have American wording. I wanted my characters to be true to the actual setting of London. And one of the biggest inspirations for me was from Hell, if you've read that. So Alan Moore, of course, huge fan. Eddie Campbell with his incredibly dark and grisly portrayal of London. And so that was my major inspiration to say we want to make sure that London is vibrant and it's vibrant with its authentic setting. It's not just a zombie game that's stuck in London because it has cool sights. It's a zombie game that takes full advantage of the historical background, the Queen's being there, the royal family, the Tower of London, medieval setting in the middle of a big cosmopolitan modern city. So it's a unique backdrop for that.